It is this Shabbat that we sadly deal with the loss of Sarah, our matriarch, mother of our people Israel. And Abraham, our patriarch, our forefather, has to contend with this tragic loss in his life, and he turns his attention to the practicalities of finding a burial place for his beloved wife Sarah. He goes to Hebron, where we now visit the cave in which Sarah and our other forefathers and matriarchs are buried. And he negotiates with the people of Chayei, with Ephron, people who own that region, to purchase the plot in which he is able to bury Sarah, his wife. And amongst the many words in this whole discussion that takes place between Abraham and the people of Chayei, he uses the words, Ger v'toshav anochi imachem. I am both a stranger and I am a resident amongst you, the people of Chayei. And the commentaries explain what Abraham was actually intending. He was saying, I come as a stranger, ready to purchase something that belongs to you. I'm coming into a space that is not mine. I'm a stranger, but I'm ready to pay the amount of money that is required. But if you are not willing to transact with me, if you're going to impede my role of finding this important burial place, I come with a different card. I come as a permanent resident. Recognize that God gave me this region. This land belongs to me and to my progeny. Hashem dictated it as so. So if you do not deal nicely with me as a stranger, then I will assert myself as a resident entitled to this place. I will get it anyway. What is the concept of Ger v'toshav, a stranger and a resident? How can one be both in one's attitude to the world around us, in one's conduct in life? And it is explained that every single Jew has to be both a stranger and a resident as we negotiate the world which God has sent us to. We have to be a resident in this world because God sent us here to impact on the world, not to be a recluse, not to be somebody distant and far away from people, to learn the language, to learn the custom, to be able to interact, to be involved in the world so that we have a foothold in society and we are able to impact on it by bringing the message of the Torah, the mission of Hashem to the world. We need to be part of this world in order to have a relevance to it and to affect it. But even as we are resident, we also need to remember that we are strangers. This is not the natural place that our soul desires to be. Our soul soars. It desires something more meaningful, something more uplifted. It wants to be part of a world that is higher than the milieu, than the world around us. And we constantly yearn for that place that is higher than the world and recognize that in this world, we're ultimately strangers. This is not our natural habitat. So we need both. We need to be a resident so that we are effective in the world. We need to be involved in the world. And we also need to stand higher than what is the prevailing thought, conduct, custom, fashion, what is vogue. And this is the concept of the Jewish people being compared to oil, because oil has both of these properties. On the one hand, oil is mefafea bakol. It reaches into every nook and cranny. You put it into a machine, and every single cog is affected by the oil that came into contact with it. And at the same time, you take the same oil and put it into water and shake it up. It's not diluted. It doesn't interact well to the point that it is able to lose its identity. It rises to the top and the oil remains distinct and clearly defined for purpose and for its mission. The Jewish people are like oil. We need to be involved and to affect and to have a foothold in this world that is relevant to the world. We need to be involved. We need to engage. And at the same time, we need to remember and to recognize and to remind ourselves that this is not our natural habitat. Our neshama, our soul soars for something more meaningful, for something spiritual, for something beyond this world. Our engagement in this world is both as a resident and as a stranger. May Hashem give us the capacity to master both of these and to ensure that we have our maximum impact by remembering our personal and unique identity. Have a beautiful Shabbos.